More cute jungle kittens.
Nope, only Noodles. Hello. Hello, hello. How are all? Are all well? I trust all are well. Thank you for the auto host, Dark. That's very kind. Yeah. Welcome to the Noodle Gear Solid Drawthrough thing. I had a think, by which I mean I watched the rest of the Metal Gear Solid the movie thing, cutscene compilation on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure probably won't finish it today, but probably next week. So yeah, all good. How are fine. Yeah. All things considered. Yeah, so we're getting there. There is a lot.
My sons, attack the gates.
Triforce, how dare you interrupt me automatically. Yes, I've got a lot of stuff to go through. There were twists even I had absolutely no memory of, so there's so many things to go. Here we are, right. Does anyone need a recap? There might be things we need a recap of. To be fair, the next scene is actually fairly recappy, so not too bad. Let's go for it. If you can start from the beginning. Okay, in the beginning there was a big bang. And then we all came from monkeys. Hello, you're late because you made yourself a nice big drink with lime and ice cubes and everything. And you knocked it over. Oh no. Oh no. Would a recap even help this make sense? Probably not. Well, kinda.
Intelligent design.
I mean, not really. We're talking about Hideo Kojima here. You're not late. We've just started, kind of. This is Metal Gear X. This is the big project, the nuclear launch thing that they've been working on in secret. Even the president doesn't know this is a thing. No other countries know that this is a thing. It has a plunger. Don't worry about it. They've been working on this in secret so that they can launch nuclear weapons. Well, more on that later. So yeah, even the person designing it didn't know it was for launching nuclear weapons because Uwu McWeeb is an idiot. All MGS are just animes in disguise. Absolutely, they're somewhere in between 80s action films and anime, which is a terrifying combination. Has a plunger. Don't worry about it. Yep. Shaded gets in this draw through should get a counter. I mean, he's successful. To be fair, honestly, like looking through the cutscenes, there's a good story in there, and there are some very well planned twists, and like he's not a terrible writer. He just really gets carried away. Yeah. Like limit yourself at least to one twist per cutscene. That'll be great. There's also a lot of expository dialogue at the end. A lot of, have you heard of this? Well, let me explain. He loves flexing his knowledge. But anyway, I won't remember any of that. So we'll just continue. It has a plunger. So we arrive, having just seen a man being eaten alive by ostriches. We arrive in a large hangar containing the Metal Gear X project. We're deep underground at this point. We had to go through a blast furnace, and then a freezer area, and then this. So yeah, I assume there's a roof or something that will open to launch nuclear weapons. Who knows? But we're here, and there's no one else here. So, which is not a good sign, because if you're going to start launching rockets and things like that, you're probably going to want everyone to clear out of the way. You don't see many people standing underneath the rocket when NASA launches something. So, we better hurry up. We better do something. We're here to stop the nuclear launch at this point, kind of. A little bit questionable at this point because one of our team members has been arrested for the possibility of being a spy because they're not who they said they were. Thank you, whoever you are. Varlan was the name that you stole, but that's not your name. I haven't seen them for very long. True. Kind of become fuel after a while. So yeah, that happened last time, didn't it? If not, that's a spoiler. It happens around now, anyway. Yeah, did we do the violent thing? I think we did the violent thing, yeah. We must have done the violent thing. Did we not? Let me know if I'm saying things out of order. That's possible. We did. Good. Good. Right. Because convenient glasses, our old master was saw through her ruse. Very terrible lies. So yeah. We're now at the thing. One team member down. But one team member up. We've got Dr. Uwu Weeb, I suppose. Anyway, we need to climb some ladders. So this place is just covered in ladders, so we've got to do an awful lot of sort of and then going up. We get about there, and our phone rings. I always forget to bring the sound effect thing up. Where is my sound effect? Give a sound. Hey, got it. Bring it's Uwu. That violent thing, yes. Uwu brings us up and says, I have hacked into the information stuff in order to try and work out what's going on with these keycards, because we need 3 keycards to deactivate the nuclear launch system, and we have 1. So he's hacked into the system. He's gone into what was his name? What's the guy? Second guy who had a heart attack. Something to do with 4. I can't remember. Anyway, we hacked into his information because he was the president of the Arms Tech Corporation and knows an awful lot of stuff. Where's Kiro? Where's Kiro when you need it? I mean, what was that? I do actually, unlike all the previous ones, I do actually have every episode of this draw through in this document. So what was it? Episode 3? Seems about right. What's your name? There. Lots of stuff. Carl 4. That was his name. Do you remember? Do you remember Carl 4? It was the guy we rescued by having a ninja come in and cut off Bullet Ant's hand. A lot of stuff's happened. Anywho, so Carl 4. He was sort of part of this whole project, and if his Uwu is trying to hack into his secret files to work out how this launch thing works. And he says, I've managed to do it, I've hacked into his stuff, and we go, right, how does it work? And he goes, I don't know, haven't found that yet. But what I did find is how this thing launches nuclear weapons, and how I didn't know it was built to launch nuclear weapons. Knock over a giant GNT and there you unplug the internet by accident. Oh no, it's a clumsy day. Yeah, so he knows, I now know how this was supposed to fire nuclear weapons, despite the fact that it doesn't have a conventional nuclear weapons launching thing. And that is, it has a rail gun attached to it, which I believe I attempted to draw. There it is. This is the railgun, and a railgun is a magnetic thing which launches things very, very quickly using strong magnets. And as a consequence, it doesn't use any propellant. And since it doesn't use any propellant, it can't be detected by radar. So what they've developed is a way of launching nuclear weapons which is undetectable, which isn't great. So that's basically why they were working on this. It was a stealth weapon. A stealth nuclear launching thingy weapon. They haven't tested it, obviously, that would require setting off a nuclear weapon, but they did do some data tests and everything seems fine. He will now continue to look into the stuff, look into all the data to try and work out how these keycards work. And then he says goodbye. Oh, hang on, he says goodbye. Yeah, the music went very quiet. And back we are. Right, so then, what we do is we do a bit more climbing. Top of it. We get to about there. Then we get a phone call. It's Uwu again. Hello! Hello! Lots of people arriving at once. How you doing? And Akira! Oh my god, so many people. How we doing? All we've learned so far is that Metal Gear Rex can launch nuclear weapons without propellant via a railgun, which means that it's a stealth weapon. That's scary. No apologies for... I was about to say lateness. You're not even late. It's fine. There is no late when there is no expected arrival time. But was being lazy? How dare. How dare. Yeah. So now we've been called up again for the second time while clambering around on top of a giant robot. And Uwu says, I found out how these cards work, which is great. And he says, and we go, okay, fine. We need 3 cards to deactivate this thing. I've got 1. Where are the other 2? And he says, that's the point. You have all 3. I did, Dark. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, but thank you very much. So many booty calls again. I mean, he's probably still mourning a little bit after we bludgeoned his girlfriend to death with a ladle. So yeah, there's this whole part of the game is just huge amount of exposition, 75,000 twists. We'll get there. So yeah, he says we actually have all 3 key cards. The key card that we have is made of a memory alloy, and it changes shape, or it contains a memory alloy of some description, and it changes shape based on temperature. So what you need to do is you need to take that key card, and you need to use it at room temperature, use it when it's hot, and use it when it's cold, and that's the 3 key cards. Guess what? There was a reason we went through a blast furnace and a freezer area. But we need to get to the place where we actually put it in. Also, the system is hooked up as essentially a failsafe. There are various ways of activating the nuclear system. Obviously, Carl 4 and Jeff Headstrong, they had codes. The codes were, we found out via the... Jeff Headstrong, who we actually found out now wasn't Jeff Headstrong, he was... what do we call him? Nicholas Travolta. Yes, Nicholas Travolta told us that Headstrong gave away his code in Torture, and Carl 4 said he gave away his code in Torture, and that's how they can activate the thing. And the PAL card, it's our weird shape-shifting thing, is how we are going to deactivate it. But the system is actually set up so that it's a one-time thing. It can be used to activate, or it can be used to deactivate, and only once. That way, you can activate it with a keycard, or deactivate it with the codes from an authorized person, or you can activate it with the codes and deactivate it with the keycard, blah, 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 blah. Nicholas Travolta, best character. It works on heat and the furnace is too far away, yeah. I'd be more worried about the cold. If you're sort of running around with a cold thing in your pocket, it's going to warm up, isn't it? You can kind of keep things warm. It's difficult to keep things cold. Yeah. So that's how that all works. So let's go do that. And then he says goodbye. There we go. And then we continue climbing along the top of this mech. And we go along some gantries, and then we go to a control room elsewhere. Now time to actually draw something. Almost time to draw something. Here we are. Okay, cool. There's always a person with super cold hands. I mean, we are in Alaska, so I suppose it's not unfathomable. It's the worst two-factor authorization ever. Yeah. I thought getting a text message was inconvenient. Okay, here's the door. We are now at a control room. In which... Well, hang on, we're here, roughly speaking. Very roughly speaking. How do you draw? It's a friggin' mood ring. It's pretty much. But it's a high-tech one with a memory alloy. How to draw do? How does pen work? Lines? What are they? Never heard of them. Going to ways to make you draw by becoming a nerd. Oh, it should be friggin' Michelangelo. I think this is around the time you actually learn all 3 cards. The one you have, you're remembering right, we're all nerds. Yeah, that's the memory alloy thing. We have it. We just don't know where to use it yet. Which is why we went through the freezers and the furnaces and such. So yeah, we're here. Here we are. Hello, Noodle. I remember how to draw you. Sure. Top secret, massive-handed operator. It's fine. Look at my massive hands. I'll warm up, I'm sure. I need to go back to the blast furnace. Noodle has big hands. Look, they're made of a shape memory alloy, and when they get warm, they expand. We playing Dishonored now? I mean, no. Just trying to find a connection there. Not really, no. That is not what this character looks like. But it's fine, because if I just add these, you know exactly who it is. Right. So, what's in the room? There's a question. Here's the answer. People! There are people talking. And we see these people talking. They are... I don't know how perspective works. We have, as you may possibly be able to ascertain via the hat, we have Bullet Hand. Bullet Hand is here. Modulo left hand. No, right hand. West hand? East hand? West hand. Big hands is also a Kingdom Hearts thing. I mean, big hands, big belts. You know what they say? What? Simple and clean. So you're wearing sort of like spurs. So yes, we have Bullet Hand, who I believe had a moustache. Quite sort of hair like that. Bandolier, if I recall. There's a lot of dialogue to go here, so I probably should be talking about it before we draw everything. Wearing his big coat. Well, Russian cowboy. Keep switching which hand he has, it's fine, yeah. Just, oh yeah, I was about to draw his hand on his hip. Okay, I'll draw the stump on a hip. It's fine, don't worry about it. Some bandages. So he's lost his right hand, but not sure. I think it's the gunslinging hands, I'm probably right. For he was a gunslinger before he had his hand chopped off by a cyborg ninja, if you saw that bit. Which we just saw, because I was trying to look up Carl Four's name. Anywho, he's having a chat with... everyone has the same hair in this. But only one of them is billowing. He's speaking with Wamlabag / Wet Noodle. And basically talking about how everything's going and so on and so forth, and talking about the situation. So if you recall, this whole thing was, we were told at the beginning, terrorists have taken over the nuclear facility with the help of the genome soldiers there, and they are demanding the body of Spaghetti. Yep, that's the thing. And no, that's what they're demanding, aren't they? Yes, they're demanding the body of Spaghetti in exchange, because they've basically taken this place over, or they'll launch a nuclear weapon. Hello, stylus? No? Yes? No, maybe? Can I draw? That would be nice. Nope. Okay. Yes, no? Okay, cool. 1 second. Silly tablet, what are you doing? Honestly. It's fine, this happens occasionally. And we're back! Oh, that's the wrong one. There we are. Right, so yes, they're talking about how that's what they want. They want the body of Spaghetti. Big Boss Spaghetti indeed. He has a long coat as well. I think he's just done up. Also billowing. Much billow. And they're saying, Washington haven't actually given in to our demands yet. There's no word on all that sort of stuff. And they say, okay, well, we'll launch the nuclear weapon then. And Bullet Ant says, right, are we still aiming for that place in Russia? And he goes, no, change of plan, actually. We're gonna aim for this place in China. He says, why China? I was like, well, first of all, this place actually, there's very little there. Except there is a nuclear testing facility there. So it can be very easily brushed off in the international stage as something which is as just like an accident or whatever, or a test. But obviously China will know. And as a consequence, China will want to work out who actually launched this thing, and then America will have to admit that they were secretly developing nuclear launch stuff, and it's going to be very embarrassing for America, so they're going to want to contact us and give us what we want, which is our demands of the body of Big Boss / Spaghetti, and $1 billion and the Fox Dye vaccine. This is the first we hear of those last two demands, but apparently that's part of the ransom. So, sounds like a stupid plan. Oh, wait. So there's a lot said here, and I can't remember any of it. So, what else is said here? It says, "Oh yeah, we need that Fox Dye vaccine. That's sort of, we need that for the genome soldiers as well. Their brainwashing is going off now that James Bondage is dead. So we need something to cheer them up." And Wet Noodle says, "Oh yeah, I've had an idea about that. You know your Russian friend, that army general who wants to make." Don't really want to say this, but yeah, make Russia great again. The one who lent us the Russian attack helicopter and all that sort of stuff. You know, the Hinth, I believe we called it, the Hinth. Thank you, Welsh / Irish. You say stupid, I say search web results Hideo Kojima. Hinth, yes. So yeah, the name Galukovich is coming to mind. I don't know if that's correct, but let's say it's Galukovich. I have a different idea. If we're going to join forces, right? Because he's the one who wants this project so that he can make Russia great again. What if we tell him to come here, and instead of trying to sell this to the highest bidder, this fantastic weapon that can launch a nuclear weapon and nobody can intercept it or find out where it is or where it's going, why don't we just sort of hole up here for a bit? Rather than, doing all this sort of terroristy thing, why don't we just make this a base? Sergei Galukovich, yeah, look at that. Yeah, because his plan of changing the entire sort of direction of Russia is it's not going to work. He's a bit sort of pie in the sky. But my plan of starting a new nation in a old Alaskan nuclear facility is much better. We're going to call this place Outer Heaven, which I believe was the name of Big Boss's old facility. My knowledge of that is not great. It's a reference. Outer Heaven, yes. Outer Heaven. And it's at this point, I'm going to draw a little control panel here. There's lots of computers and things in this room. It's at this point that Mr. Bullethand looks down at one of the computers and says, yeah, but are you not afraid about... your foot is in the wrong place. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Perspective. Are you not afraid that Noodle the box is going to interfere with your plans? Because, you know, he has the deactivation codes. And he says, nah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. There's also a camera here. There's a little monitor here. No, it's fine. Like, you know, it's not going to work out how it works. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. We can start the nuclear launches as soon as we are ready. Everything's absolutely fine. I'm sure there's loads of other things happen in this scene, but I can't remember any of them. One thing that does happen is we get a phone call from Dr. Uwu Weeb, Kelsa Priest, and he says to us, look, in that room. And we say, yes, we're looking. They don't hear the ring of our phone. It's a thing in our ear. So I think it vibrates, it directly vibrates the eardrum. So it's not actually making a sound in air. It's just directly connected to our ear. So yeah. Which is why I'm confused as to why we can see people. I still don't know how that works. Whatever. Nano machines. It's fine. I made a comic about that. So, yes, he rings up and says, look in that room. So I've now got to draw the room. This door is wider than I originally anticipated. Don't worry about it. Over there, by the control panel, you can see actually it's sort of like a desk like that. And there's 3 conspicuously placed laptops. They just all happen to be there and are color coded. And he says, look, there's the places that you need to put in the 3 versions of the keycard. The cold one, which is blue, the hot one, which is red, and the yellow one, which is room temperature. It's all very straightforward. Highly scientific operation going on here. So I think they've all got different shapes. So I don't know what the shapes are. So like something like that, and then one of them's like a W, I think, and one of them's like a, I don't know, cold one's like a snowflake. Anywho, you've got to insert your cards in there to sort that out. That's where you need to do it, and that's how you're going to deactivate Rex. And we go, I love this bit of the scene, and we go, yes, we must. I must take this card and sort it out in various different temperatures in order to activate the system or deactivate the system so that they cannot launch their nuclear weapon. This is an extremely important thing that I absolutely must take care of. And he just sort of sticks it out in the middle of the door frame. At which point, Bullet Ant, not being an absolute idiot, notices and with his good hand, by which I mean his remaining hand, Kerpew fires a bullet, knocks the keycard out of our hand and somewhere down all the scaffolding that we just walked up. It's an Oobs. Hello, how you doing? I like Bullet. He has quick reflexes, I'll give him that. There's one more thing they talk about here, which is the fox dye thing. So I mentioned that one of the things in their ransom demand was the fox dye vaccine, and they said, yes, fox dye, it's already killed Baker and it's already killed Carl Thor and Nicholas Travolta. So it's true that it kills older people first. Why didn't it kill James Bondage? Why didn't it kill BLT? And I think they said, well, it probably didn't kill James Bondage because he's constantly wearing a gas mask. Probably a good way of stopping viruses. This seems oddly appropriate at this particular point in time. And BLT was probably immune because she's constantly chugging painkillers. So that's probably interfering with their biology in some respect. Either way, we want the vaccine for this thing. Because it has killed people so far. Fast forward, we've just had a thing shot out of our hands. And Wet Noodle turns around and goes, brother! I knew you were there. There's a camera above you. You're an idiot. Hope you have a wonderful time trying to find it. I'm going to send hundreds and hundreds of guards after you now. And we're going to launch a nuclear weapon, so screw you. Brother! Yes. So now all the alarms go off, lots and lots of guards come running in, and they close the door. It's got a window. This is bulletproof glass, I think he said. Brother. Absolute idiot, you're lucky you're British. I mean, pretty much. Yeah. So we've now got to go get the card whilst dealing with all of the guards that are running towards us. So what we do is we go down and we look around and try and find where this card went. And we have a look in this little drainage ditch over here. And what do we find? Well, it's a drainage ditch, and where there is drainage, there are rats. And where there are rats, there are things that will eat things. So what we do is we look for a rodent which is oddly rectangular. And we must somehow retrieve this from the inside of said rat. I'd like to say that I can't. We have at our the last solution we attempted to come up with, we did end up bludgeoning somebody to death with a ladle. So I don't necessarily, put much faith in our mercy. No, we can't save it. I mean, I know, no, it's not. Yeah. I was thinking if it was like a wireless card thing, like a kind of wireless sort of debit card sort of thing, we could just carry the rat. But we have to insert it into a computer. That's not going to work. We have scissors. We do have scissors. Yeah. Snip it open. I mean. It's Kojima's fault. Yeah. Well, let's see what we can do. Desperately trying to think of something. So, I mean, okay, if we've got to snip it open, we have to reseal. So, what do we have on ourselves to reseal? We have a sock. Can we sacrifice our sock for the purposes? Can we just use the Heimlich maneuver? I don't know. Probably end up causing more damage that way. Are we wishing for internal or external damage? It's already swallowed a keycard. I mean, yeah, his chances aren't great anyway. The perspective on this is all over the place. Don't worry about it. I know you come here for fantastic perspective. Luckily, there's water, so I can hide the feet. And the rest of that leg. Pity's gonna shut down my stream. I mean, yeah. If Peter had any power at all and weren't insane. It's a shame, really. It'd be nice to have a nice organization that actually cares about animals without going nuts. Was this not a tutorial? Oops, of the two of us, I think I know which one of us should be doing the drawing tutorial. Our leg just disappears, it's fine. Impressive it managed to swallow it. It was hungry. There's not a lot of stuff that gets thrown down by the soldiers. And it's in Alaska. There's not a lot of random bits of wildlife. Compared to, say, here, or whatever. Use the scissors to put it out through the mouth. I mean, I was thinking, like, cut it open, get the key card out. A little bit slimy. And then just sort of like use the thread from the sock to just sort of stitch it back together. It's got a sock at its back. I'm happy believing that Sock Rat can make it. It's better if here in October, okay. I mean, sure, why not? I'll make that work. I'll fit it in. I'll fit it in there somewhere. October, it's got to have a pet, I suppose. All the lab rats, they need a home. Or maybe that's like work. Because the rats, they go to work, they get experimented on, and then they come home. They've still got things stitched to them. It's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, Sock Rat. Okay, Sock Rat can survive. Hooray. They're a bit tuckered out, bless them. But you know, if it weren't for them, the card would have been washed down the drain and we never would have seen it again. So, thank you, Sock Rat. You have saved the country. Remind me of this in approximately 10 minutes. Anywho, this all happened in a drainage ditch, so we do smell a bit now. Don't worry about it. There's a ladder. This isn't The Sims, there's a way out. Perspective, it doesn't matter. Pinky and the brain. I believe he always smelled. I mean, yeah. Remember, he was wearing all of these clothes underneath a wetsuit inside a torpedo at the start of this. And he's done a lot of running, a lot of hiding, a lot of being tortured. You know, it's been a long day. Anyway, we got the keycard back. So what do we do? Well, first things first. We go up the ladder, along the gantry, and then up the thing, and then along here. Thing is, this is kind of the part of the story where I've got to really try not to forget anything. So a lot happens. A lot of it is kind of irrelevant, but kind of nice at the same time. It's interesting, but pointless. It's a very accurate representation of the area, by the way. I mean, if we're being accurate, strictly speaking, we actually go around this gantry, around there, and then over there, and then the room that we're in is up here somewhere. So towards the camera, as it were. But other than that, I remember this area a lot for the reasons that you can probably ascertain. The amount of times you have to run through it. We've gone up, then down. We've just gone back up again, and we've still got to put the keycard in twice more. So Cece's still alive, by the way. I think they mentioned that in the conversation, that they're using her as leverage against Colonel Korn and stuff. She's still there, it's fine. Where did Bullet and Wormlebag go? Why they're not doing anything to stop you? You expect there not to be plot holes in a Hideo Kojima game. Let's call this the W1. Call this the Lifeline one. And we'll call this the Snowflake one. Lovely. A lot of time was put in these maps and you've got to get the use out of them. Yes. True. Otherwise it would have been like a 7-disc game. But it's not, it's 2 discs, so you get a lot more game out of fewer discs. We know by now that you expect games to make some sense even when they shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway, so we're now back in the control room. Got like windows that sort of... Did they go that way? They might... Yeah, I think they go that way. And then there's sort of like... Metal Gear Rex sort of... just being in the background, as you do. There it is, there's the railgun. There's the weird circular thing. Right, so we come here, and what do? We insert our keycard into the first computer because it's room temperature. That we can manage. Some of you youngsters might not remember a time when you had to insert physical media inside a computer. It's not all digital, you know. Room is room temperature, you don't say. I like the idea. Like, there's a I think they've stopped using it now, and they've converted it to a atomic thing. But there used to be a 1 kilogram weight, and it was the weight that was used to measure 1 kilogram. So, like, this is 1 kilogram by definition. And they had to keep it safe to make sure I didn't add or lose weight, all that sort of stuff. I like the idea that there is a room somewhere that defines room temperature. And if that gets warmer, room temperature gets warmer. Sounds like an SCP, doesn't it? If anything happens to this room, it happens to every room. Be careful. It is its own containment. Stop making you feel old. It's like a floppy disk, you see. Feet, how do they work? Anyone? Any ideas? So here we just sort of... We just offer it up to the computer gods and then it goes in and goes bajink, and then we go, right, cool. It says, I think, PAL access code 1 granted. Now for PAL access code 2, the cold one. Is it a floppy disk? No, it's a memory shape alloy disk, and as a consequence, it's not floppy, it's malleable. PAL it is called the PAL card, which is unrelated. I don't know what PAL stands for. Grants you access to PAL. You get access to PAL all the time. PAL's always welcome, always happy to see you. Who's the body with the perfect temperature to which all other humans uphold? Oh yeah, body temperature. Well, body. Are we talking internal body temperature or external body temperature? Because internal body temperature is much more standard, or much less. There's much less variation you can have before you die. So, yeah. So yeah, there's PAL code, and we do that. So what do we do now? What do we do? Is we go along here, go along there, and then we come down here, and then we go along there, and then we go down there, and then we go back there, and then we wander off. We go back through, past the ostriches, or to the room with the ostriches, and we just sort of hang out here for a bit, waiting for things to get colder. You're really cold-blooded, so you're 35 degrees all the time. 37 is fever time. I don't really know an awful lot about internal body temperatures. So yeah, we just sort of stand here for a bit. We might get a phone call now. We might as well do it now, why not? No, Uwu, it's not you. It is... Da da da! Varlan. Your internal external temperature fluctuates depending on how much tea you're consuming. Piss off Uwu. So it's Varlan, who has been placed under arrest for what with the being a spy and whatnot. Or possibly, I don't know. We don't know what she is. We just know that she's been doing some bad stuff. Because she's not Varlan at all. And she says, hello, yes, I've been arrested. Sorry about that. And you go, so is it true? You're not Varlan? And she says, yep, no, I'm not. I stole that. Sorry about that. They didn't take her phone away. Again, I guess it's all in the ear. It's kind of difficult to rip out someone's ear, I suppose. So yeah, she says, yeah, I didn't entirely lie. A lot of the things I told you were true. I don't know who my parents were. I was just found as an orphan in... Did we say Zanzibar? Why not? Found as an orphan in Zanzibar. I was raised by an adoptive older brother, and I came here to study gene therapy to work out who I was. There are some things I didn't tell you, though. For example, who my big brother was. My big brother was Kink Vader, who you killed, and we resurrected and brought back. And that's why I'm here. That's why I infiltrated this position. That's why I got this job, and joined Foxhound, was to find you, so that I could kill you, because you killed my older brother. My big brother was King Vader, yes. I was thinking about that when we named him. To be fair, he does actually have 2 names in this. Well, at least 2. So, yeah, and she sort of reveals that and says, yes, I just wanted to kill you. Like, that's part of it. And so, you know, I when I did all of your preliminary injections and stuff like that, I injected you with some stuff. So that I could kill you, which is also what gave everyone else a heart attack. It's called fox die. This is the thing that we're talking about. It's what gave Carl 4 and Nicholas Travolta the heart attack. His name was Frank Yeager. Code name was Grey Fox. No, it wasn't. It was King Vader. So, although to be fair, they do a whole thing about foxes and stuff, as they always do. It's a very elaborate way to kill us. I mean, there's a bit more than that, because she doesn't just want to kill us. She's like, I wanted to kill everybody involved in all this, which is why everyone else seems to be dying as well. And we say, well, you've met me now. You met the killer of your big brother. Do you still hate me? And she goes, not entirely. I understand now why it happened, because we said before, you know, it was just business with 2 soldiers hired on the other sides, on 2 different sides of a fight, and I had to kill him because he was going to kill me if not, and that's just how it works. She developed a virus to kill everyone involved while she worked at the same organization. Did she at least vaccinate herself? Well, as we heard in the previous cutscene, at the very least, Wet Noodle is assuming there is a vaccine. So, you would assume so. But, she then goes on to explain how it works. Because the virus... Actually, does this happen now? I mean, there's no real reason to say why it shouldn't happen now. The virus is a specially created virus. It is a virus that has been genetically manipulated. Obviously, that's her line of work. Has been genetically manipulated to only start producing the things that cause the heart attack if it encounters certain strands of DNA or certain configurations of the things that make up DNA. As a consequence, you can tailor-make the virus to kill very specific people. Science fiction. Wonderful. It's nanomachines. So she kind of doesn't have to vaccinate herself if she doesn't build it to kill her. So yeah. But she does say, thing is, yes, I sorted it all out to kill people and all that sort of stuff, but you don't know the whole picture, because I wasn't the one who came up with this idea. It wasn't my plan to put Fox Die on this mission. It was... and then everything goes all fuzzy. Where's Void? I'll use that. There's Void. And then Colonel Korn comes in and goes, I'm sorry, she's under arrest. You can't talk to her anymore. We may possibly have just knocked her out. Sorry about that. Yeah, she's cut off. And they go, no, you've got to carry on with your mission. Stop talking to people who are terrorists and so on and so forth. And we go, look, Colonel Korn, please. You have lied to me so many times. You're a very bad liar. Please, you know what's going on, don't you? And he goes, I know absolutely nothing about what's going on. Goodbye. And then we continue with our mission. I was just using Void as static, don't worry about it. So the card has cooled down now, so what do? Yep, you guessed it. Go back here, we walk along here, we go up this ladder, we walk along here, go up this bit, and then we walk along this gantry. And then we go into this room. Nope. Slide to the left, slide to the right. And we insert the cold. we insert the cold key. And it says, PAL access code 2 granted. You now need the hot one, thank you. We go, where on earth can we going to find a hot one? Because we have short-term memory loss. And Uwu probably calls up and says, you went through a blast furnace, go there. So what do? Go along here, walk down here, and then we go along there, we go down there, and we go along here. Then we go back through this area, back up this lift. Go that way now. And we just hang around in the blast furnace area. I think there are soldiers here, so the gameplay is made somewhat interesting. Noodle's good at climbing stairs and ladders, and yeah. He gets that from his dad. So, yeah, we hang out in the blast furnace for a bit. Sort of doing stuff. I don't think any more exposition happens here. Probably. There's probably some. I'm sure I'm missing a lot already. It's fine. Yeah. And then it warms up, and then we put it in our pocket. And we go back down the lift, and then we go back into the freezer, making sure that it doesn't get cold along the way, because it will cool down if we hang around for too long. And then we go back into here, and then we go up here, and then go up thing, and then up here, and then up there, and then we go back into the room. Movie magic. Oops. It was wonderfully careful drawing. And we insert PAL card number 3. And the computer goes, you have successfully inserted the PAL card number 3. Nuclear weapon launch activation successful. At which point alarms start going off. And we get a phone call. Not from you. Nope, no, you are involved. But from... Anyone want to hazard a guess as to who we're going to get a phone call from? I'd be very impressed if you get it right. Oh, music's changed. Our mum? Ooh, no, Chibi was right first time. I don't know why you're over there. Stop get out of our face. Yes! Master Convenient Glasses phones up and goes, convenient, how convenient? And goes, thank you very much. Ah, blimey, took you bloody ages. Thank you for activating the nuclear weapon for us. We had no idea what the activation codes were because we accidentally killed one of the people who knew them in torture. Thanks for doing that for us. Ah, blimey, didn't think we were going to get there. And we say, I mean, excuse me? You're somewhere else in Alaska. You're not part of this. And he goes, well, that's what I wanted you to think. And then Korn pops in and goes, bit of information I've just found out. Convenient Glasses has just been found dead in his home. He has been dead for 3 days. At which point, Convenient Glasses takes off their glasses. And unties their hair. To hopefully reveal, if my drawing is not absolutely awful, because everyone has got the same hair in this game. that it was in fact our brother in disguise. You can tell it was a disguise because one has an American accent and one has a British accent. Brother! I thought this was actually about to be cool. That would have been good, actually, if it turned out the Master of Disguise didn't die. That was all a ruse. That would have been good. See, Chibi's clever, coming up with good ideas. So yeah, he goes, yes, I've been stringing you along this whole time, brother. Thank you for activating the weapon for us. We had absolutely no idea how to do it. Cheers. You're about to be so excited. I mean, yeah. God damn it, Wet Noodle, why are you so disappointing? Well, you say that because the phone call ends, kind of. Well, no, sorry, something else happens while we're here. The dev accent's convenient and Wet. His voice actor did pretty good. Yeah, it's not terrible. Can't believe he killed Convenient. I liked him. You never met him. This is all happening in an evening, and he's been dead for 3 days. So yeah, this is so dumb. Just wait. So he says, "Thank you for doing that. You can die now. We're kind of done with you. Cheers. Goodbye." And then he hangs up. Like that. And the room begins to fill with gas. Ooh, that doesn't look like gas at all. Give me gas. That doesn't look like gas. Why does none of this look like gas? This look like gas? Nope. Screw it, just go with this. Oh no, hang on, this is pretty good. Yeah, look at that. That's kind of gassy. Where's the gas coming from? I don't know. I don't know why you'd put poisonous gas in the launch control room of the nuclear thing. Seems a bit silly. At the very least, in Hitman, you've got to put something into the air conditioning system. Sounds very inconvenient. Ha 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 ha. But he's not convenient anymore, is he? So, yeah, the gas comes in. At which point we get a phone call. And this time it is. No, stop. Go. I'm going to put you at the top so I don't accidentally turn you off. It is. Ooh. Who phones up and says, "I noticed you're having a little bit of a problem with poisonous gas. I'm going to try and hack into the mainframe because that's what I do. I'm a hacker. Ooh woo. And open that door for you so you can get out because the door closed." That's how the gas stays in, you know. I really hate this picture I drew. It's been sitting there for 9 weeks. Really weird angle. Make it bigger anyway. That's slightly better. A little bit off the top. Anyway. So yeah, he says, "I'm gonna hack into the mainframe and try and sort this out for you. Hang in there." And then he hangs up. And we return to the room full of gas. At which point we just sort of wander around, not sort of quite knowing what to do. Then we got a phone call. It's Uru, and he says, "I've managed to open the door." And then he opens the door, and all the gas goes away. I may have accidentally put the gas on a layer. I can't get rid of it. It's fine. It's now friendly gas. Don't worry about it. The gas has dispersed, but all of Danger Noodle's nervous farts have remained. It's fine. I don't know how many times you said it, and then we get a phone call in this Drawthrough. I mean, it's not going to stop anytime soon. I believe you forgot about the gas part before this, now you remember it clearly. Yes, because nothing happens. It's just like tension. Immediate release. Cool. I I just like that bit. Makes me laugh. Anyway, we pop out to one of the gantries leading up to the Is this where they get the exposition about genes? I think we do. Why am I drawing circles? Also, some words which may pique Chibi's interest, although the hopes will be dashed just as quickly, I'm sure. Wet Noodle, always a damp squib. No circle for nudes. What? There's plenty of circles for nudes. What's Wet Noodle going to do now? The exposition mostly. There's a lot of talking here. I don't know why, but it just sort of happens. Yeah, so he's just sort of there. We're now wearing massive boots. It's fine. So much talk. Like this whole part of the game is just talking. It's a lot of talking. And because we have gotten rid of our sock, I suppose we have to be holding the ladle at this point. A bit wet. Why not both? So... So yes, we confront putting Metal Gear Solid 3 mechanics into Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, I don't remember that. But I'll take the praise. I will take the unwarranted praise. By the way, the head of Metal Gear Rex is sort of like around here somewhere. You can hold a knife and a gun at the same time. CQC. Right. So, on the other hand, Wet Noodle has a bit of some flowing lines going on. And he begins to talk about sort of what he's doing and why he's doing it, and the relationship with his brother. And talking about how they are brothers and how this was all linked genetically, and saying, we are genetically identical because we are brothers, we are twin brothers. We were made from the same genes of our father, Spaghetti. But you were the one, you got all the best bits because we were part of an experiment into making genetically engineered people, because Spaghetti was the best fighter there ever was. He was the best soldier, and they tried to make another best soldier after he died. So they took his genes and tried to make... By the way, he's not wearing a shirt at this point. I don't know why. Actually, they're brothers. Chris is exaggerating the brother. He's not exaggerating. It's a thing. So yeah, and he's talking about how you got all the best genes and I got all the worst ones. You cursed me before we were even born. How dare you? You've taken everything from me. And then he mentions, I believe, the name of the project to create the perfect soldier was called Les Enfants Terribles. Don't know why it's French. Just is. Terrible children, yes. Which ties into the commentary going on at the moment, because they are terrible children. So yeah, and he's talking about the Les Enfants Terribles program, and I was given all the recessive genes, and you had all the dominant genes, brother. And that's why I hate you and I want to kill you. And we say, well, why are you trying to take over the world then? It's like, well, this is trying to fulfill father's wishes without a heaven and so on and so forth. He chose me. Well, he didn't choose me. I want to kill him, but whatever. But he's already dead. But you killed him, but I wanted to kill him, and that's why I hate you, because I wanted to kill him. Thank you very much. His motivations are all over the place. It's insane. You're so lame. Yeah, probably think this game is about you. He's a bit like that, yeah. It's not how genetics works. I mean, yeah. But you know what that means. If they sent you in here with Foxdie virus thingy-maboodle, what's it, to kill me and to kill everyone else, which they succeeded in, because, you know, we were all in that interrogation room, you know, so we've all contracted the virus from you. But if they sent it in to kill me and we have the same genes, that means it's going to kill you too. But I want to kill you first. Before you die of that, I want to kill you first. He's all about killing people. I don't know why. The beginning of the Drawthrough, you thought you were going to like him because of his aesthetic, but now he's just really lame. Yeah. You don't just divvy up genes 50-50. No, they have the same genes. I believe there was something to do with there being... I don't think this is in this conversation, but it might as well be. They took 8... What was it? They split an egg up into 8 parts, so octuplets, basically. And did experiments on them. And he says that 2 of them were successful, but in order to make one of them even better, they turned all of the genes in one of them recessive to make all of the dominant genes get transferred to the other one. And he says that I have forgotten the name of our protagonist. Noodle the box got all the dominant genes and he got all the recessive genes, and that's why he's annoyed. Yeah, I don't know why, like, a dominant and a recessive gene doesn't mean a good gene and a bad gene. I don't know why they went with that line of narrative, but whatever. Yeah, that's still not how genes work. Oh no, you got the blue eyes. They're essentially clones of spaghetti, lots of genetic manipulation, yes. And they also tried to do the same thing as the music stopped again, or has it just gone really quiet? Oh no, it is there. How many drugs was Kojima on when making this? I mean, I think it's just Kojima. I don't think he needs drugs. It's sad for him if it worked like that, kind of. Hold that thought. So, yes, and they also tried this again with the Genome Soldiers, because it turns out that the Genome Soldiers, you know, all these people with balaclavas who've been running the base, they are also clones of spaghetti. But they tried to do it digitally. They mapped the entire genome and then just rewired DNA and turned it into that. But it didn't work because everything was a bit too right. Nature. I think they say something about things with symmetry dying out and asymmetry surviving. I think it's nonsense. You don't have any empathy for what he's laying. Yeah, it's accurate. So yeah, apparently not only are we brothers, all of the people in balaclavas have been brothers as well. So many brothers. They're all father. They're all... Actually, yeah, I suppose if you're a clone of your father, you're not really a son, you're a brother. It's weird, isn't it? Brother! Oh, I'm gonna need a drink after this. So anyway, after talking about l'enfant terrible, and all of these sorts of things, take care of myself. I mean, I don't think there's much more. Well, no, actually, there's a lot more, brother. But anyway, I think we'll be the drugs would be better off taking Hideo Kojima. Yes. So yeah, after that, he does the sensible thing. After monologuing for however long, being threatened with a ladle, and he jumps into the open maw of a mech. As well you might. And then break stuff. All the gantries fall over. And we're now in full-on anime mode. Because, well, actually, I could probably save myself a little bit of time. By just sort of copying this. Getting rid of all the ladders. Come down here. I'm not drawing a mech if I don't need to. Yeah, all of this gantry stuff falls down, and we're left with a big open, convenient boss arena. Convenient? No, convenient. Because he pretended to be convenient. And now we must prepare for battle against the high-tech plunger mobile. However, the mech is designed, I'm not good. I have been drawing robots recently, but this is... I had a pretty clear idea of how that one looks. I've been drawing a couple of robots. As my Patreon supporters may know. Is it a robot? Maybe. Kind of. Cyborg. You know how much there is left in You Believe in Me? I mean... I don't think we're going to finish today. But there won't be much left. Because, I mean, we're fighting the thing that the game's named after, so... That'll be near the end, isn't it? And we've killed everyone else in the terrorist team. There's only Bullet Ant and Wet Noodle left. And Galukovic, I suppose. Next Metal Gear Revengeance. I know nothing about that game. I've seen about 5 seconds of gameplay and it gave me a headache, so I stopped watching. Totally real way, yes. Revengeance. It's called Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, if I remember correctly. Wonderful Japanese games, they've always got a weird... Just not quite the right number of words in the right order. Like all the Kingdom Hearts games as well. Dream Drop Distance and 352 over 5 days or whatever it is. That's the name, yeah, Revengeance, yeah. Anyway, so we're now in a room with a mech, and we gotta fight it. This thing that's designed to launch nuclear weapons. We are now here with a ladle. Now, what do you think is gonna be the first thing we do in this particular situation? I'll give you a hint. You already have all the information you need to know in order to ascertain what's going to happen next. Die, you remember dying? This is not an easy part of the game. Hit it with a ladle, you can try. We're not going to call someone again, are we? No, we're not going to call anyone. Ragdoll's got it. We're going to get a phone call. From Uwu. Hello, Uwu. How you doing? Now, to be fair, it's not the right time for a booty call. To be fair, this guy designed this mech. So if there's anyone who's going to help us destroy it, it's going to be him. This is just like an anime. Like one of my Japanese animes. It's actually legitimately a good call, yes. This one is helpful. And he says, look, you are currently standing in front of a weapon that is made to withstand pretty much anything other than tank rounds. You're probably not going to be able to take this down with a ladle with some scissors sticking out of it. Or stickers sizzing out of it. So, because you have to know how to beat it, yes. He also doesn't know what it is. He didn't know what it was going to be used for. He knows what it is. And they're unlikely to fire a nuclear weapon in this room because that's going to kill them as well. It can be taken down with a tank round. It can be taken down with a nuclear bomb. Yes, he helped build the thing. He just didn't, when he was building a railgun, he didn't think the railgun was going to be used to launch a nuclear weapon. So yeah, he says they're going to use my death machine for bad things. Yeah, insert Mitchell and Webb sketch, Dr. Death. I built this giant death ray to be used for good, not evil. So yeah, he says, yeah, you're unlikely to be able to take it down just by bashing its legs with the ladle. But there are things we can do. Now he's in the cockpit, which is like the mouth thing. And that's like fully shielded, obviously. That's the first place you're going to shield. But because it's fully shielded, you can't see out of it. It's got like a VR system in it. It's got Oculus Rift. And there's nothing Noodle can't do with a ladle, yeah. I don't know why I said it in that suggestive tone, but he has monitors in there. Now, how do the monitors work? They work via a system of sensors. Now, if you can take the sensors down, then you'll be able to get him to open up the mouth so that you can actually see, and then you can attack him directly. So what do the sensors look like? Well, they're the bit that don't look like a plunger. It's this bit, this big old circular thing here. So what you need to do, aim for that when the time is right. There is no visual indicator as to when the time is right. It's just aim at it, and then when it goes bleep, go. And yeah, try and take down the radar. Good luck. Goodbye. And then he hangs up. There we are. So yeah. This thing is firing you with rail guns and lasers and machine guns and all these sorts of things, and you're supposed to hide behind boxes and then poke out with a rocket launcher and shoot that thing. Yeah, I guess we're going to use the scissors as a slingshot again. There's not many rocks here. This is when you rage quit, yeah. So yeah, we shoot at... We start firing, I don't know, what have we got on us? You would use chaff grenades here? The hell? I suppose it would if he's using sensors. Yeah, and you just sort of start throwing stuff at it. Stinger missile launcher. I mean, it's fun. It's more fun. We've got an augmented slingshot now. It's got a selfie stick. Selfie sling. So yeah, we start just sort of throwing things at the old sensor, and eventually they start breaking up. But we're still trying. I mean, look at the size difference. So we're at a bit of a disadvantage. So he starts doing what any massive, big old robot would do, which is not using the machine guns, not using the rail launchers, but just going towards us and trying to step on us. I think that seems perfectly sensible, yes. In I'm an Idiot news, you just realised you're chomping hard candies and your dentist appointment got cancelled because of Corona. Oh, no. Well, but as long as your teeth are alright, I mean, you know, as long as you're not chomping hard candies every day, every hour of every day, or whatever. You can have them once in a while, it's fine. My dentist appointment is due in, like, May, so it's not the end of the world. Did you just pop another one in your mouth? Yep. What you need to do is, in between them, take a swig of, not a swig, just have some mouthwash. Just get rid of the the sugary stuff. Go through a whole bottle of mouthwash in between the candies. Mouthwash makes me lose my sense of taste. Does that happen to anyone else? If I have it more than twice over the course of a couple of days, I just completely lose the ability to taste. That's what's really bad for you. According to some, mouthwash got you to hurt your teeth less. Ooh. You can get non-alcoholic ones. Anyway, point being, mech is coming towards us. You used to have crazy sensitive teeth and mouthwash helped, so you don't know. Marvelous. Biology is different for everybody. So yeah. It might just be the brand of mouthwash I'm using. There's something in it that just causes my sense of taste to go weird. I think that's happening with my toothpaste as well. It was weird. Usually got a very dry mouth afterwards. Anyway, this isn't about toothpaste. This is about a giant mech. We're being attacked by a nuclear weapon. So yeah, we stomp. He's going to try and stomp on us. So what he does is, I'm going to probably slightly elaborate here, but it doesn't matter for the purposes of not having to draw more things. Lift up his leg, like that, squashing it in the process. You don't know how complicated machinery works, it's fine. And then just slam it down. Until, oh yes, it is intercepted. By somebody hopefully I can remember how to draw them. It's been a while. Did you remember there was a cyborg ninja guy? They're here. They're in the game. Let's do the chippy squat. No, look at him go. Buzz. There's a little electricity. You also enjoyed being stepped on now. That's a new kink. I know that happened long. That was one of their kinks long before this all happened. So yeah, and it's got like lots of roboty parts and so on and so forth. A wild. A wild weird. A wild weird. Did not get Colgate anything. Bear that in mind. He's a good friend, yeah. So yeah, he pops in and says, "Hey, how you doing?" Remember, we have subsequently discovered that this was Varlin's, as it were, adoptive big brother. Actually, I believe the mask is off at this point. I believe this is sort of, there is a face in there somewhere, but we can't draw eyes, so I had an idea, but I realised I really don't want to draw it. There's not a lot I can do with the name Kink Vader without it going weird. Why is he not dead though? Because he was resurrected and he's wearing an electronic suit which causes him not to die. That's pretty good. Mask only broke to show his mouth? Sure. I don't think the mask broke, I think it's just open. We haven't killed him. We fought him, and then he ran away, saying, this is painful, I love it. I love you hurting me. So yeah, we'll keep that bit on. Why not? Look at this. I imagine he's a bit mangled up in there. We did kill him. We killed him. Sorry. Yes, to be fair, we did kill him in Zanzibar. That is true. But he was taken from the battlefield in Zanzibar, experimented on with Varlin and Foxhound and all that sort of stuff, and then they brought him back to life, kind of. But it wasn't a huge success. And now we know why she did that, because she was attached to him. Blindfold. I suppose that makes sense. Then there does need to be dialogue, so I suppose you can't really do anything in the mouth. No, I agreed for an 18+ stream, but oh boy. Yeah. Hey look, got the same thing as you. Just like old times. He's only got one though. I was thinking about, I can hear people procreating thoughts, guy. Yes, we did. There are multiple characters in this game who deserve the name King Vader. That is not my fault, but it is true. So yes, he comes along and saves us. And then he fights for a bit. I think he jumps up and slashes this a couple of times with the sword and whatnot. He's got a sword. I think he has a gun as well. Not sure. Less focused on liking pain here. There's very little talk about liking pain here, but it happens. And we run and hide behind some boxes and have a little chat, which is nice. So, although I like the idea that it just sort of happens here, like it just sort of happens underfoot. Think he had a gun here? I think so. I think he was shooting up bits of the mech, being much more efficient than we are. Idiot boyfriends who get stepped on together stay together. Yeah. So yeah, and he starts talking about things and talking about how it's like old times, and apart from the time when you killed me. Yes. And we say, it's King Vader, and he says, yes, that's King Vader. It's a much better name than Void, isn't it? And we go, yeah. I kind of worked out that you were probably Void, the one you keep helping me with static, because your suit's made of electricity and it probably interferes with pictures. So yeah, we now know who Void is. Hooray! He was helping us all along, albeit just so that we could punch him. So yeah, I would like to point out that in the game they don't have the name Void; they have the name of something else, which I won't say because we have already named this character King Vader, and it would be too appropriate. Look, I didn't name these characters. Not my fault. It's a reference to Watergate, if that helps. Anyway, so he starts talking about, and he talks about Varlin as well. It's not my fault at all. And actually, to be fair, I did say that there was, you tried to call James Bondage King Vader, and I did say there is another character who would better suit that name. So I suppose it is kind of my fault. Gero? Gasp. Yes. Discord's free game. I don't have power there. No, I am a moderator there, I suppose. So no, I said no. Too late. That was the name of the informant in the Watergate scandal. So yeah, the people wanted to. That's true. Yeah. Who am I to shirk away from democracy? I suppose. Just like Watergate, or Wastergate. That's an interesting one. I like the idea that this whole conversation is happening under the foot. Anywho, so yeah, he talks about Varlin, and this music is very quiet. Barely hear it. Up a bit. Anywho, let's go back to Pathos. And we start talking about Varlin and so on and so forth. And we say, oh yeah, I know about Varlin, you looked after her and so on and so forth. I know you were close. In fact, you spelled Noodle right as a miracle. It is Noodle, isn't it? So yeah, and he says, I mean, yes, true, I did look after her, and so on and so forth. But it wasn't quite as rosy as that, because I was a soldier. I was in... We said Zanzibar? I was in Zanzibar at the time, and I was her adoptive big brother because her parents died. Yeah. I might have been the one who killed her parents. Just killed these people, and there was a little child there, and I couldn't bring myself to kill the child, so I just took them with me. And I looked after her, and I loved her, and all that sort of stuff, but every time I looked at her, just couldn't get the image of killing her parents out of my head. So that's not great. And he says, look, I'm probably not going to get out of this alive. Hopefully. I've been looking for a way to die. Tell her I was the one who killed her parents. She deserves to know. And we're like, oh, okay. All the friggin' turns. So many. I know. The end of the game has so many twists in it. Sometimes it'd be like that, yeah. War. The thing is, I think the idea is that she sort of idolizes her big brother and hates us so much for killing him that, you know, it's for her to know that there's bad on all sides. Tell her the person who raised and loved her actually killed their biological folks. That's fine. Won't cause any trauma. None whatsoever. I mean, she has been arrested for sabotage of, I suppose, terrorism, treason, something like that. Is it treason in America? I suppose it is. Yeah. Anyway. Why are all the gift suggestions for Zanzibar's all Rocco's Modern Life? Is there a character in there called Zanzibar? Possibly. Zanzibar! Still can't get over deep for it. There's a sentence. Yeah, so he says that, and then he runs off and does some more shooty mukbang fighty stuff. And then he jumps up onto a platform up here, so that he's roughly face level with Metal Gear Rex. So then he can shoot the radars and stuff. Oh no, hang on, there's a couple of things happen. Well, let's do them here, why not? I don't want to have to draw it so many times. Oh, only one. Sentences in this draw-through give you life. If there's one thing I've learnt in this draw-through above the other ones, it's that the more I say yes, the more bizarre and fun these get. So at one point I was a purist and I wanted to explain how the game works properly, and now we're talking about Kink Vader. If you ask someone to call you deep throat while also making suggested masochistic comments at them and alluding to a past connection, you know are going to assume they were lovers. Well, what happens in Zanzibar dies in Zanzibar. So yeah, a couple of things happen here. So he's got his gun. I think we ascertained that there was a gun at some point. It's like a kind of future zappy gun. I think it's got strange rounds in it. I don't know. Genetic experiments. It's fine. And he's got his sword. And his robot suit. This is how you draw a robot suit. So after dealing a considerable amount of damage to Metal Gear Rex, which I'm not going to draw because it's going to take time. How do you draw a sword? Was there something special about his sword? I can't remember. Oh, there it is. Just something fun, you don't exactly remember, it's powerful, but yeah. Specifically the robot's radar dish. Yeah, so he's aiming for the radar dish as well. He's helping you with all that. It's all good. Yeah, so this is up on like a gantry somewhere. There's some sort of scaffolding and stuff. And then lasers happen. Let's we've done red dots. Let's do. I think lasers are blue. And they go. Let's go about that. And they go. Bad animation. I will try better. No, it just doesn't look very good, does it? Oh well. Oh yeah, and it goes whoosh like that. Big old laser. And then this goes whoosh like that. Which is not fantastic for the purposes of continued fighting. Oh no, arm, second arm. It's kind of appropriate, I guess. The first time we saw this character is chopping off someone else's arm. Party of ninjas, you're talking thinking about NSP, yeah. It's a party of 3. This is the whole damn thing if you remember correctly. Yeah, it's not just a hand this time. I think there's pretty much the entire arm. So that ain't good. I'm your father, brother. What? And then, oh, that's flying away and doing its own thing. How am I going to draw this? That's bigger than that, really, isn't it? It's like, whoop. The what do you call it? The muzzle, the face of Metal Gear Rex just comes slamming right in there. Pinning him against the wall. Getting a smooch from the robot, yeah. Very hard smooch. Smooch does not know.
Smooch.
Yes, Rex does not understand their own strength, unfortunately. But yeah, and this causes. This is not the kind of pain that old Deep Throat wants. It's only painful because he actually wanted to smooch from Noodle. It's emotional pain. Deep Throat, did you miss the conversation earlier, miss? Oh, you mean King Vader? Oh, okay then. Yes, King Vader, not that. Void, King Vader, Jaeger Bomb, whatever you want to call him. Yeah. So this ain't fantastic. He does a bit more shooting. Pew pew pew, shoots off the radar dish, which is great. And then you have a scene in which he's upside down, apparently. No. In which you got sort of like a big old giant robot dog thing, not drawn to scale. or to shape or correctly. And you're just sort of down here. You're just down here with your ladle, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And I believe you have the option at this point as to whether or not to let what happens happen, or to facilitate its continuation. Oh no, you don't have the choice, do you? You have what appears to be the choice. You are given a targeting reticule. Do you want to put this guy out of his misery with your explosive slingshot? But if you try to press the button, your character goes, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because, yeah. Good, yeah. So yeah, you can't actually fire the rocket, but it's like a whole scene where it's played out. He's saying things while this is happening, and he's all in pain and so on and so forth. Going, I regret all this. This was not great, but I've been wanting to die for a long time. I was born to die, so on and so forth. It's not great. This is not a happy scene. There aren't many happy scenes left in this game. So yeah, so you're just sort of watching this. It goes on for a while. It goes on for like a minute. I forgot about that until you said you don't remember there being a choice. So, oh no, there isn't a choice, but you have a choice as to whether or not to press the button. But the button doesn't do anything. Yeah, you just sort of like, oh, I can't do it. What have I drawn? Like, if someone enters the stream at this particular point in time and they see what's on screen, do you reckon they're going to be able to work out what on earth this is? I just sort of stood back and went, what have I drawn? Modern art? I mean, I consider that a significant insult. There's no saving this. Leave it at that. They might be able to work out. I mean, thanks, try. Yeah, so this happens. And because you can't put him out of his misery, what happens is a big old slam to the wall, more slams and bangs and crashes, and then he just sort of falls to the floor. I think he shoots the radar dish one more time and it sort of falls off. And then thwomp. He gets squished. He did. Yes. It does get a little bit of electricity buzzing around when this happens. Oh god. No, I'm not gonna say that, Chris. You just keep that in your brain, okay? So yeah, the stamp happens, but the radar dish is now just sort of hanging off on some threads. So Wet Noodle can't see out of his cockpit anymore. So not in Zanzibar doesn't count. He has already died in Zanzibar. I think we can let him off. The penultimate stream, Chibi finally finds something to cling on to in this. And you never predict what you like. Just death catching up with him. Yeah, I think words to that effect were said. Had to happen at one point. I'm glad. I was worried that you weren't going to like anything in it. Yeah, he dies in the game, but in the AU. I mean, well, he dies in the game, but he's died before. Like, if he came back before, Lord knows how much he's going to like pain the next time. So yeah, and then that all being done, get rid of you. We now return to our normal scheduled viewing. By which I mean a fight with a big robot. Only now, Wet Noodle's Oculus Rift is a bit buggered, and so the Maw has to open. Oh, this is another thing I remember, is that when Rex steps on King Vader. For some reason, I'm really having trouble remembering the names in this one. When Rex steps on King Vader, it roars. I don't know why. It roars like a dinosaur. It's very strange. Anyway, Wet Noodle's in here. Joysticks and stuff. So yeah, the fight continues apace with not shooting there. Shooting there. Doesn't like also grind him into the ground. It's very unpleasant, yeah. Well, it's unpleasant for us. Maybe it's pleasant for him, I don't know. Something about grinding. Showed the bastard. Very violent. Metal Gears are all basically sentient with how they act. Yeah, there's sort of more so with the later ones, I think. I don't know anything about the first two games, but anywho, yes. So we do that, and then we successfully blow it up because that's what you do at the end of a big game with mechs and so on and so forth. The Rays were like that too. That's more than what I was thinking. I think the Rays sort of had more of a personality than Rex, but maybe we'll get there one day. Who knows? First crime was taken away convenient from you and not even being a good plot twist. Your second crime was being lame. Your third crime was murdering my masochist baby. You're gonna die. Well, if you thought... So far, let's just recap. So far, we've shot him down in a helicopter. Do you remember that? We did that. We shot him down in a helicopter and he survived that. Now, we're gonna blow up this mech. And it does. It blows up and it goes kaboom and so on and so forth. There's big old kabooms. How do you kaboom like that? This is sort of the odd thing, is like the big climactic fight of this I can't really do. So we just have one thing that says boom. Boomy? Boom. I'm gonna do it in big chunky letters. I thought I might as well do it in something curly. Boomy! So yeah, it goes kaboom, and everything, so on and so forth. And we're right next to the big machine that's going to go kaboom, so we also get kaboomed. Just a little kaboom. Boomy. And we get knocked out, knocked unconscious. And that is where we end the stream. Thank you for coming along. Noodle gets one little boom as a treat. Yeah. Tiny little boom. Yeah, we're definitely going to finish next week. We've blown up the name of the game, so... There are some things I need to remember about the start of next stream. There's a fair old amount of exposition that happens at the start, but plenty more to do. Excited finale, yes. What are we going to do after this? I don't know. Are we going to do another interactive one like the Forest of Doom, or are we going to do Final Fantasy 8 or 10, or I don't know. I'm glad you like it. I'm learning. We've only been doing this, a year and a half, and I'm starting to learn how to make these fun. No one here likes Final Fantasy. That's true. Try and rewatch the scene just in case if you remember to. I rewatched it earlier today. I think I can remember. Well, I can remember it now. It's mostly to do with Korn and their situation, so I'll just have to remember that. Final Fantasy's for nerds, yeah. But the thing is, if we do a Final Fantasy, we're going to be doing that for bloody ages. I don't know how long another interactive one's going to take. That's up to you. And I do have to plan that out. If we're going to do that, I have to plan it out ahead of time again. So, it's a good gif. You really want to play Final Fantasy 7, but you found out how expensive it is, and that's just part 1. You're about putting your foot down about nerds and nerd things. Accurate. So yeah. Thank you for coming along. Yeah, finale next time. Hopefully, there's still a lot to say. You think the twists are over at this point? You're wrong. It is also good, accurate. If slightly understated. So thank you for coming along. I hope you're all enjoying this and it makes any kind of sense. Colin is Noodle's dad? No, his dad is his brother. The father brother you killed, father. Octuplet twin. Hate it when your dad is your brother. Brother! Yes. Yeah. If you have any recommendations for other... well, it is spring. They're starting to regrow, aren't they? So, yes, if there's any other games that you'd be interested in seeing in this particular format, then do let me know. Like I said, the sort of current plan is either another interactive one. I don't know whether we use Pal again or a new character. I don't know. Something interactive next would be neat. That was the sort of plan, was to alternate between them. There's part of me that just really wants to do Final Fantasy 8 or 10 because they're both nuts. 8's more nuts, but is it nuts in a fun way? I don't know. 8 is bonkers. 8's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's one of those games where it's like you can say nothing bad about it without saying something good about it, and you can say nothing good about it without saying something bad about it. It's just... its story is all over the place. It just stops having a story for most of it. 10 is the bro road trip? No, that's 15. 10 is the... well... I always wanted the prequel to 10, which is a bro road trip. Which is the Jekt Braska Oren story. That would have been good. Why didn't they make that? How many Jessies are there in 8? I mean, that's up to you. So... all the Jessies. I am tempted, because there's one thing in Final Fantasy, which is that there's always a character called Sid. And in the last draw through we did, or the Final Fantasy draw through we did, we called the Sid of that game Fly Jesse, and I am tempted to keep that as the name. Fly. Every Sid is just going to be called Fly. So whichever one we play, whichever one we do the draw through of, eventually we're going to have a Fly in there somewhere. It's gonna be Jesse Hell for me. Honestly, it was easier for me to remember the Jessies than it was to remember the names in this game. I don't know why. I think it's because they were descriptive, and I could remember the description. Occasionally, you get one like J-Max that I'd forget, but with the protagonist Moody Jesse, so moody, angst. Yeah, there was a pattern to them, but then this one is sort of like, how do I remember BLT? You know, it's like. Yeah, I don't know. We'll work it out. Maybe we'll do an interactive one. I'll have to plan it out. It might be worth making a new character for that. As much as I like Pal, you know, they've had their adventure, and I don't want them to die. So, we'll also have to work out which one, because I do have a few. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Pal's good being a toddler. Yes, that's where they exist now. Yeah, anyway, enough rambling. Thank you for coming along. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Doing whatever it is you're doing. Tomorrow, possibly the end of Ori, I don't know, maybe. Final level, probably. And then maybe we'll start something different on Sunday, who knows? We'll see. Creative stuff on Saturday. I assume a chibi stream on Thursday. I think someone said they wanted to stream on Friday. Can't remember. I think I am going to finish Ori tomorrow. Okay, cool. Good to know. So, blimey, we're finishing a draw through soon. We're finishing games soon. My word. Yeah, chip stream. Ooh. So look forward to that in a couple of days. And so many finales. It all happens at once. Yeah. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad people are enjoying it. Enjoy yourselves between streams and have a wonderful time. Goodbye.